And it came to pass that when they arrived, everywhere was full. But before all hope was lost, there was one last door to try.
Yes? What do you want?
Sir, I come with what I claim is funding, and I wonder if there's room in F1 for me and my team.
What is your name, sir?
I am Jacques of Villeneuve.
No, absolutely not. No, definitely no room in Formula One. No, none at all. In fact, there's almost too many people already in my sport. No.
Go on.
Go away.
Welcome to the festive edition of Gareth Jones on Speed. In attendance, Zog.
Hello.
Richard.
Hello.
I'm Gareth, and we've got a Violet and a Christmas Colin somewhere as well, who will appear at some point during the show.
Just what we always wanted.
Do you always have a traditional Christmas Colin yourself?
We do. We used to have Colin Baker,
Colin
the
Baker.
Doctor Who.
Oh, yes.
For a few years. We switched to Colin Firth.
Good idea,
Housewife's favourite.
I had a Colin Chapman for Christmas.
Yeah.
And
for a lighter
lightweight
Christmas.
model.
a lightweight model. And these days I have a Colin Collis, which is basically the same stuff, not as good and an awful lot cheaper for Christmas. That's what I do. Yeah.
I've run out of famous Collins now.
Colin Farrell. That's the other thing.
Colin Farrell. You have a Colin Farrell.
I'll have Colin Farrell for Christmas.
Okay.
You can have Colin Collis.
If the shop is out of Colin Farrell's for Christmas, could I suggest someone else I just thought of, not so famous, but the Reverend Colin Cork, who is the Vicar of Longbridge, and is also
We'll have him.
arguably Britain's leading Allegro enthusiast. And he's quite mad, but in a brilliant way.
I'm going to know an eccentric vicar. I can see that.
No, he's superb, and he has an immaculate Allegro that he spent a fortune restoring, and then he's got this immaculate MG Metro. And I saw him once.
Immaculately conceived.
Immaculately.
Oh, very good. Christmas jokes, ladies and gentlemen. Very good.
But yeah, I saw him once at this thing. He's a friend of my mate, Big John. We were looking at an Austin 3 litre, which I'm only even going to explain what that is if you don't know.
TV series, Big John and the Vicar. I think.
Big John and the Vicar, exactly. They go around solving crimes in, like, I don't know, a princess or something. And it's always breaking down, but they're both well qualified to have a go at fixing it.
This is the economy version of Life on Mars.
Absolutely. But it should be set in present day because, one of the things they're constantly railing against, rather than in Life on Mars, I guess it's, the onset of political correctness. But Big John and the Vicar would be constantly railing against parts availability for the Austin Ambassador that they're driving round in.
Good King Bernie left his work sometime on last Tuesday, when some men with knives came by, stole his girlfriend's jewellery, brightly shone his bruise next day, and to laugh was cruel, till he used his injuries, advertising Hublot.
Merry Christmas, Bernie, from Stiff Petrol and Gareth Jones on Speed.
I've spotted something here that clearly for us Christmas is a very 70s thing. Because we're talking about the 70s. For me...
Because we're remembering all those toys we had in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
I was talking about a slightly mad Allegro-loving vicar.
But the Allegro, you can't get more...
the Allegro, I see where you're going. Yeah, okay, right.
Okay, what Christmas cars would there be then? What's the most Christmas of cars?
Christmas cards. Christmas cards.
Cards, sorry. Collins, cards.
So this is why a Fiat 500 turned up the other day with my address scrawled on the side in your handwriting. I've been giving out Christmas cards.
Always confused cards and cars. Actually, a Fiat 500 would make a fantastic little bauble on your Christmas tree, wouldn't it?
It would.
As would the Beetle. The original Beetle, that would be good. Right shape, wouldn't it?
It would. Well, in fact, even the newer Beetle, a bit bigger. That's a kind of bauble-y sort of car. I think
Mini?
Mini.
Almost spherical-looking cars.
Smart, I think, is good. Smart's
a good Christmas bauble. Yeah, I've got one. The BMW Isetta bubble car. Yeah. That's the perfect Christmas bauble.
Whereas, you see, a Jensen Interceptor is a terrible Christmas bauble because you'd have to put the little hook for the string on the roof, right? Then you've got all that bonnet out the front with a massive, great Chrysler V8 in it.
Wouldn't
Nose heavy.
Yeah.
Bad on the tree.
You're right. But couldn't you sort of suspend it from somewhere in the engine? You could make... Well, no, because then you've got to go through the bonnet to make it back.
BMWs, on the other hand, generally hang quite well because of, the 50-50 weight distribution. And so does the Volvo 340, because it has a transaxle gearbox.
There we go, folks.
Yeah.
I am talking
Very
rubbish
good.
now. There's no such thing as cars hung from Christmas trees. But if you are a conceptual artist with an enormous amount of money to play with, build a huge Christmas tree and do that.
Next year's Goodwood.
Yes.
Next year's Goodwood.
Come on, Lord March.
Jerry.
Pull your finger out.
In fact, I know someone who knows the guy that makes those sculptures.
Oh, really?
Jerry Judah. That's him.
Right. Does he always
do
make
it
that?
That could be his next, Christmas tree.
Get on the phone.
Yeah, there we go.
We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we drive in a Saab. It's a 9.3X, look at our trendy specs working in architecture. Saab of wonder, Saab of night, with your daytime running lights. Built in forest, liked by dentists. The aircraft stuff is marketing shite.
Rudolph, Prancer and Dancer are both faster than you. Can you confirm you understand this message? Ho, 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 ho!
Christmas Colin has just walked in the room. Christmas Colin, hello! Hello! Are you having a good Christmas, Colin?
I'm having a very good Christmas, gentlemen.
See, the Christmas Colin we promised is on the programme.
It's not even one of us doing a funny voice. It really is an actual fourth.
You come here, just come on. You are an actual person called Colin, aren't you?
I am an actual person called Colin, yes.
And you're our traditional Christmas Colin.
Yes, I come round this time of year every year.
It's wonderful. Nice to have you with us. Thank you very much, Colin. Yeah. Christmas Colin, ladies and gentlemen. Christmas Colin. Okay, here's one. Being the car geeks that we are, we must have, over the years when we were children in the 70s and in a great part of the 60s in my case as well, have gotten car-related Christmas presents that to this day we still consider to be a wonderful thing. I can remember one in particular I had. You remember Corgi? Corgi did a slightly larger scale version. I think they were called Corgi Kings or something like that. I can't quite remember what they were called. But I one Christmas got a Scamel truck with a car transporter on the back. But this was the thing about this car transporter. It wasn't like two decks, a lower deck and upper deck. It was a tri-deck transporter.
No.
Yeah. I had a Jensen Interceptor that would go on there.
Yes.
Perfect. Was it Corgi or Dinky Super Kings it may have been called?
Dinky Super Kings,
That sounds about right. That was
it was a sly way to try and get kids to smoke cigarettes.
Super Kings.
Well, it was the 70s, wasn't it?
Well, you could buy
Anything goes.
fag cars, couldn't you?
Yeah.
JPS.
Well, so you could buy fags if you were a kid. Again, it was the 70s. It was practically encouraged.
Yeah, those sugar candy cigarettes. What did they call them?
Yes, they were called candy cigarettes.
Yeah.
And they have. I mean, they were just about phasing them out when I was a kid, because I think they'd realised, who knew, that they maybe encouraged children to go on to real cigarettes.
No, that would
they
never
had
happen.
they had a bit of icing sugar or something, didn't they, in there, so you could make them look like you were blowing
like you actually
smoke
smoke, like you
out.
blow them out. I think that was a slightly different kind of fake cigarette that you got in a sort of little. I remember these little magic, sort of like a magic set.
Yeah.
Where you sort of had.
And they would smoke rings. Smoky monkeys. Do you remember Smoky Monkeys? Little plastic monkeys. Colin, you remember Smoky Monkeys?
I
no.
honestly don't.
No.
Oh, wait, are these the ones you linked? The monkeys that you linked up?
No. They were just little plastic monkeys, little squat guys all around like that, and you had these little cigarettes that you put in, you light them, and they would blow smoke rings if the room was perfectly still.
If you've heard of these, please do email the programme on speed at garethjones.tv and do entitle your email, "Don't worry, he's not mad."
Listen, I want to talk to you about Christmas cars. You must have had a toy car at Christmas.
Yeah, well,
What?
actually, it just reminded me of a car transporter that I had, which was only 2-deck, and I feel a bit hard done by now.
Lightweight.
I was a word with my dad when I go home. But the thing was, and it's funny how these things affect you and live with you from your childhood, because the model tractor cab on it was of a Ford Transcontinental.
Oh, yeah, like the Marathon. Bigger than the Marathon.
Well, they were big. They were
yeah.
big. Yeah, they were like
Yeah.
the Renault Magnum of their day. Really
Exactly.
tall,
Yeah.
big
Sheer
truck.
face, yeah.
And to this day, if I had to pick favourite lorries, which I don't often do, but if I did have to, I would pick one of those big Fords, purely because of that model I got when I was a kid in the very early 80s, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And the other one, car related, which again is a sort of toy car thing, but I once got a remote control car, which was a Pontiac Trans Am.
Was it remote controlled or was it radio controlled?
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you.
It was radio controlled.
Thank you.
It had a separate controller. There were no wires.
If you're ever having a conversation with Gareth,
It was a
I've walked into
RC.
you know it's
a Pontiac with Trans
you
Am?
knew it though,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Black
You knew it.
kit?
No, red, and not a kit era. The previous one, the Smokey and the Bandit shape, with
Oh,
the four
nice.
square recessed
Classic.
headlights. But it was one of the things about it. In fact, I've just remembered was that it had a little switch on the underside. You could make the headlights come on as well.
Did they call
Oh,
that
yeah.
body the
Oh,
F?
yeah.
Was that the F car? I think it was.
I think almost all of those Camaros and Firebirds were called F bodies, GM F body.
I see. It's something deep in the consciousness.
It's all in there.
The most American thing I ever did once, going slightly off topic for a moment, was...
You shot someone.
Well, that was pretty darn American. And grew a kind of mustache, made me look like Rufus Hound, which did actually happen. No, the most American thing I ever did was to go to Disneyland in the car that shared the chassis of the Trans Am. I went to Disneyland in a Camaro once. How American is that?
That's just very American.
Wasn't Christmas.
You know Rufus Hound's not American. You've met him. You've met
I
him.
know
at my
Rufus,
wedding.
yes. Not American. No.
It's a shame because his name sounds quite American.
Yeah, I mean, the name he uses sounds...
The name he uses, yeah.
The name I use sounds Welsh.
Away from the racetrack on a yacht in the Med, the little Lord Jordan laid down his big head. The clothes in his wardrobe were stupid and bright. The little Lord E.J. was talking more shite.
Zog, your Christmas. Come on, you had a car at Christmas?
The one that's coming to mind is, I actually can't remember whether this was a Christmas or a birthday thing, but had Scalextrics, as so many
Zog, guys, I'm sorry, forgive me.
Scalextric.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Scalextric. Yes, okay.
Did you also play Trivial Pursuits?
Oh,
Now I get annoyed by that one as well.
Fair point. So, okay.
I'll tell you what else annoys me, since we're in the Christmas
we do
season.
have a critical mass of pedants
Yeah.
here. So moving on. But,
Scalextric.
Scalextric
Yeah.
with a C. And by far my favourite car was, and it was quite old by the time I acquired it. I think it was probably passed down from a cousin or something. It was a Lotus Type 72 with front wheels that steered as the plastic blade that engages the slot moves relative to the body.
Yeah.
It would steer the front wheels. Now I've no idea whether that helped the handling or not. I don't care whether it helped the handling.
In your
it was
mind it
cool.
did, though, and that's
exactly, in my
important,
mind.
yeah.
That's what counts when you're a 9-year-old boy playing this game.
I never had Scalextric.
Scalextric.
Scalextric, sorry.
There you go.
Write it down.
The trick is you've got to get the X in first and it all.
Yeah, you always get the wrong way around. I never had that.
Did you have Aurora? What was it called? AMX? What was the
I
one?
don't know. We had
There
some
was a
sort of
smaller
cheap
scale.
knockoff that was really my brother's, but it was smaller scale. Because the thing is, I had a Hornby railway set. And
it was the same size as the 00 railway set.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Otherwise, you could have had a massive sort of integrated. Because we did in the loft, we had this built.
You could drive the cars
huge-
onto the train, or
No, none of that. No,
That
couldn't
would
do
be
that.
amazing.
The two things, never the twain should meet. I mean, the thing is, I think I was, forgive the pun, railroaded into having the Hornby set, because my dad was really into trains. So we had this, we had a permanent setup in the loft. I mean, not one of those ones you see with like the sort of slightly odd retired men who have those ones where it's like bigger than their actual house.
And it's at waist height.
It's
it's actually a realistic
recreation of the whole of the
British
Austrian
rail.
railway
Yeah,
system,
exactly.
circa 1934, about May, and they've got all the rolling stock to
Yeah, there's something wrong about it. And you go, oh, could you just go on, make that one go? Not yet. That one leaves at 1734, and it's only 1417 at the moment. It's just like, oh dear.
Imagine then how disappointed I was when one of the other Christmas presents I got as a kid was the Scalextric U-Steer, and the cars that it came with were generic Scalextric sports cars.
Was this the one with the steering wheel on the side of the controller?
It had a steering wheel on the side of the controller, exactly. Oh, it did do something. The brushes at the front, which were mounted on that little sort of fin, instead of being mounted to the body, were mounted on an arm, which swung from one side of the front of the chassis to the other. And it was very slow, and it just stopped you from banging into each other when there were narrow bits of the track, and they put these chicanes in and stuff. It really didn't work. Right. I'm taking the mick out for train enthusiasts who get utterly obsessive about stuff. And we do exactly the same about cars.
Would ever get obsessive about anything.
The thing is, actually, for a small boy, that I think there's less to hold your attention in a train set, and in the end, what you tend to do is just try and contrive ever bigger train crashes.
Yeah, although to think this a little bit more, isn't there something in the male mind that tends to like repetition?
That's true, yes.
You know, we like repeating stuff and repeating patterns, and there's something... so maybe that's part of
there's repetition, and then, you know, equally we're easily bored, aren't we? Yeah. No, I mean, there's the repetition of, like, The Fast Check, for example, was almost exclusively written and performed by men, because it seemed to appeal to that part of the male. Well, you'll watch a comedy film you've seen 17 times before. It's almost comforting to know when the jokes are coming. But, yeah, mindless repetition of watching a train go round and round, going, here we go, engaging Exeter Station now, and pulling in.
I can smell the hair on the track.
They do smell good, don't they?
Yeah.
Isn't that the transformer?
It's probably the dust on the transformer as well, that heating.
There's a very distinctive hot electrical smell. It's not the same as, like, you know, if you smell the back of a hot amp, I always think they sort of smell, or new consumer electronics always smell a bit like bean sprouts for some reason.
One of the later uses I found for my Scalextric transformer was setting off any gunpowder that I'd recently made, because you know, when
you used it to ignite gunpowder.
When you pack,
you had made Zog. We like repetition. I just want to be very clear on this.
Yes.
So you got some black powder.
Yeah, made either with ingredients.
Where from?
Borrowed from the school chemistry lab.
Okay.
Or actually, I seem to remember this was sufficiently long ago that chemists didn't seem to be quite so bothered about you buying potassium nitrate from them. And that, as any fool know, that's one of your basic ingredients of black powder.
It's potassium correctness gone mad these days.
Exactly.
They won't let you buy it.
Can't make your own honestly, I had so much fun making my own gunpowder and blowing stuff up, and I very rarely, you know, acquired anything more than the tiniest of injuries. So I recommend it to anyone.
Zog, I just want to say how nice it is that you're still very much alive,
Thank you, yes.
and to be able to enjoy this Christmas with you. And you too, Richard.
You were shaking his false arm there.
Silverstone, quite near to Toaster. It all went wrong for Donington. Now F1's yours forever. And in your streets after a race, the quite depressing sight of cars and vans all in a jam, not getting home tonight. Oh well.
4 years ago on Gareth Jones on Speed, we wrote and recorded one of our first songs for the show called All I Want for Christmas Is Some Speed. And I thought, instead of talking about what we would like from Christmas for ourselves now, I thought we'd look back at what we asked for 4 years ago and to see how many of those have actually been realised, right? Let's have a look. I don't need loads of presents or even to get off me face. Okay. I just want the road ahead to clear and the traffic to pick up pace. I would like less traffic.
I had a hell of a time getting
still,
over here this evening. So,
it's getting what you did, yeah.
Sunday night in North London, not good right now.
Yeah.
Did you have a bad time getting over here? I got a
yeah.
minicab and it was fine, but then it did smell like hell's anus in this minicab.
Whether that was-
It was the most extraordinary thing. I mean, genuinely, I know minicabs often smell. And I do seem to talk about minicabs quite a lot, but I seem to find myself getting a lot of minicabs. I don't know, maybe I should stop being such a lazy ass and get the tube, but really bad smell. We digress.
If
Sorry.
that was
If
no,
I had a
it took me an
Christmas
hour and
wish
a
for
half rather
2010,
than
it would
45
be
minutes.
for minicabs to not smell so bad in London.
I was in a minicab in Derbyshire the other day, and it said it had a £50 soiling fine. Soiling. You don't want to soil someone's car. So I'm with you.
Soiling's a really bad word.
Yeah,
isn't it?
minicab should be better.
There's no context in which the word soiling could be used badly. Unless, use well, rather.
yeah.
It's never
Unless
well.
you're Alan Titchmarsh.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you've opened a topsoil retail business, how's it going? We're
Actually,
doing a lot of soiling.
Do you realise if I was going to open a soiling retail business, it would be called Topsoil?
Gas topsoil.
Topsoil. Yeah. It's topsoil. Anyway, here's what we wished for 4 years ago. I want a GM car that you'd want to drive.
The Volt, maybe?
The Volt?
Yeah.
I think that's happened.
I want to have a go in the Volt. I want to see what it's like.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also say I drove a Vectra VXR, I think, earlier this year, and it's a really quite good car.
I was following a Vectra, and I thought it was going very well the other
It's had
day.
an attack of the chronic depreciation. Sort of
A lot of
thing.
car for your money there, Rich.
I would recommend it to someone. It's one of those cars that's got massive wheels on it and is meant to be sporty, but it rides really well. Now, that is a good trick to
How
pull
do
off.
you do that?
And an increasingly rare one. Again, if I have a Christmas wish for 2011, more cars that bloody well ride properly.
That belie their size also.
Yeah, well, that's
You know,
it, yeah.
you know how GM get good ride in their cars, don't you?
Well,
Lotus engineering.
yeah, but that's the thing, but not enough of it. Maybe they go to them more, yes.
I want someone to buy my Rover 75. You did sell your Rover, didn't you?
Yeah, but probably about 18 months after I said that. It was officially on sale in December 2006. And
I want to. This is a good one. Look, the next line. I want a fuel cell Lotus that can also fly.
Yeah, that was an ambitious request.
Actually, I think that's in Baha's plans, though, quite honestly.
Yeah, it probably is. Oh, dear God.
Although we did have the first private space flight to orbit this week.
Yeah, Falcon 9.
So there's a flight connection there.
Yeah.
Bit tenuous.
We're getting there.
Nothing to do with Lotus.
Do
but
you
I
know,
just thought
it
I'd
had to
shoehorn that in
swerve
there, but-
as it left the Earth's atmosphere to get round Danny Baha's ego.
Give me a Bangle BM that for once looks great. I want a large French car that won't depreciate. None of these have come true.
Well,
have they?
Beamers look all right these days, but that's because Bangle's retired. Large French got no.
I want a Rolls-Royce Phantom with a telly and a fridge. Well, this show hasn't made us the money for that yet, guys. has
Still
it?
working on it.
Yeah. And I want the Chinese not to make a mess of Longbridge.
Jury's out on that one.
Yeah.
Sort of still there, so maybe. 4 years ago they bought Longbridge.
Listen, the ones which haven't come right, I'm going to run through them, okay? How about I want a championship that Jensen plays a part in,
Oh, and how?
and I want someone good to buy Aston Martin.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want a litre of petrol for just 10p.
Big ass for that.
In your dreams.
I want more than 2 constructors in the WRC. I think we did pretty well, actually. We got our wish list, didn't we?
We should have knocked together another song because there's a few things we need to sort out as well.
Yeah,
It's quite hard lyrically to work
World
in.
peace and...
I mean, the main thing I've realised I want for 2011 now is for Gareth to open a topsoil business. It's too good a pun to miss, surely. It's almost as good as that lorry that a friend of mine saw, which was transporting live chickens, and it had poultry in motion down the side.
Oh,
Seriously.
transporting them for Christmas, I would hope as well.
Because a mate of mine was in the centre of London this week, and he sent me a text. He'd seen a magnificent pun on the side of a lorry. Here we go. Cement was being delivered to Soho Square in a mixer this morning from a firm called Jim'll Mix It.
Oh! It's like those shops that comes up with a clever title, you know, hairdressers called Cuts and Bobbers. Or
Although I was going to say, I was going
It's
to
a
ring the
shame.
poultry in
I
motion
like-
people and go, look, do you want to start transporting cattle? I've got the name for you. You want to call it On the Move?
I saw a van on the motorway the other day, German registered, and it said windfart.com. Fart, F-A-H-R-T. Windfart.com. Better than any pun about chickens.
It's just the word fart in German, which means go.
But
Doesn't
wind.
it? Does that mean go?
But-
It doesn't
I think
mean
it
go.
was,
But get in combination with the word wind.
And the
Wind.
autobahn.
Yes,
We're
yes,
driving
yes.
on the autobahn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the festive Gareth Jones on Speed with Zog,
Goodbye.
with Richard,
Goodbye.
With me, Gareth. And Violet, Christmas Colin, are you coming to join us?
Yeah,
coming to join us? Colin, nice to have you here. We always like to have a Christmas Colin. V, cheers.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. And cheers to you guys. Thank you for downloading this show for the last 12 months. We're probably going to be around to do it again next year, I think, aren't we? Yes.
I hope so.
Thanks very much indeed. And happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. And
Season's greetings, all
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
See you. Say bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
I'm late for a Christmas party, like a dreadlock in gridlock. The traffic has been dreadful, I should have been there at 8 o'clock. My baby's probably snogging someone else by the mistletoe. Why is this Christmas light shining red for stop when it should be green for go? I don't need loads of presents or even to get off me face. I just want the road ahead to clear and the traffic to pick up pace. If Santa doesn't turn up on his sleigh, then that's just what I need. All I want for Christmas is some speed. All I want for Christmas is some speed.
I want a GM car that you want to drive.
I want someone to buy my Rover 75.
I want a fuel cell Lotus that can also fly.
A Bugatti Veyron I've the money to buy.
I'll take the batteries out of your Prius. I'll stuff a turkey with your Kia seat. 'Cause all I want for Christmas is some speed. 'Cause all we want for Christmas is some speed. I don't need loads of presents or even to get off me face. I just want the road ahead to clear and the traffic to pick up pace. If Santa doesn't turn up on his sleigh, then that's just what I need. All I want for Christmas is some speed. All I want for Christmas is some speed. Give me a Bangle BM that for once looks straight. I want a large French car that won't depreciate.
I want a Rolls Royce Phantom with a telly and fridge.
I want the Chinese not to make a mess along bridge. I want a litre of petrol for just 10p. I want more than 2 constructors in the WRC. I want a diesel car that is also fun. I want Damon Hill back in Formula 1.
I need a car that reverses climate change.
And get the Cayenne out of the Porsche range.
I want a championship. The Jensen plays a part in. Want someone good to buy Aston Martin. All I want for Christmas is some speed. Yeah. All I want for Christmas is some speed. Yeah. Save your shopping and your chip and pin. Don't need no toy with no batteries in. When it comes to Christmas, you know what I need. Gimme, 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 gimme speed. All I want for Christmas is some speed. All I want for Christmas is some speed. Don't want no socks, no power drill. Quality Street just makes me ill. When it comes to Christmas, you know what I need. Gimme, 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 gimme speed. All I want for Christmas is some speed. Christmas is some speed and peace in the Middle East.
To send us an email, see pictures, get song lyrics, join our Facebook fan site or follow us on Twitter, go to garethjones.tv. Gareth Jones on Speed is made in London by Whiz Bang.
Gareth Jones on Speed!